Hey everyone, welcome to the Weeabooze, the monthly podcast where we get drunk and talk about anime. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Hunter.
I'm Justin.
How's everyone doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you, Kyle?
I'm doing fine. What are we drinking, Hunter?
Well, we're drinking a lot of different things. So the main thing is this thing called the Patsy, which is a coconut rye stout, which is absolutely bizarre, but it's pretty cool. Like, I like unique beers.
Yeah.
This is definitely unique.
I don't drink too many beers with coconut in them in the first place. So
No, coconut.
I'll be honest, probably a first, but the coconut makes it very smooth.
Dude,
But I also feel like I should be on a, like, even though it's motor oil black, it tastes like I should be on a beach in Mexico.
yeah,
Like,
I get that.
it's like pina colada-y. It's weird.
Drinking out of a pineapple or something like that.
Yeah, right? On a beach in a hammock.
Dude, anything with coconut is delicious. For me, at least.
Wow.
That's where I got it. I was like, oh, coconut?
Well, it's a very interesting choice, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right.
I like it. Interesting. Like, that's good.
Yeah, I do too. So, to all of our new listeners, here's a quick rundown of the show. Each episode, each of us will share one thing that we love about anime. It could be a series, a character, a memory, a director. As long as it makes us happy, anything goes. Afterwards, we answer a listener question, followed by our opinions on what we're currently watching. It's as simple as that. Is
Like
everyone-
always, Kyle will start first.
I am fine with not
Kyle,
going
you
first.
have to start first because I need to get warmed up.
Okay, that's
my
fine.
Voice
You
got,
can butter
my,
up
my falsetto
Kevin.
voice
Okay.
got get there.
It wasn't until after I started drinking that I discovered the appeal of the alcoholic anime girl archetype. Whether she's a hardworking businesswoman who likes to reward herself with a beer after a hard day's work, or an unwed teacher drinking away her single life sorrows, watching these fictional females get wasted is unexpectedly charming. Which is strange considering the fact that alcoholism is not the most enticing characteristic. I don't think I've ever looked at someone getting sloshed from across the bar and said to myself, oh, how cute. But somehow anime creators have mastered the unique ability to extract and accentuate the allure of any given character despite how flawed they may be, transforming a character's imperfection into their most redeeming quality. Misato from Evangelion, the succubus from Interviews with Monster Girls, the teacher from Yuru Camp. I love these ladies that defy the expectation of 2D girls having to be the embodiment of purity. And this love extends beyond the simple archetype of alcohol enthusiasts. Anime is a medium where everyone, if not beautiful, sexy, or cute, is at least endearing. And I'm astounded by the anime community's fascination with and acceptance of these unconventionally attractive anime girls. Unconventionally attractive in regards to both looks and personality. Aesthetically speaking, we have monster girls, girls who are made out of gemstones, and girls who are so heavily stylized that they barely look human. Personality-wise, there are yanderes and tsunderes, girls like Tomoko from Watamote, who are personifications of social disorders, and literally every character from Konosuba should be repulsive, yet we still love these girls. This paradox of sorts, I think, is a result of anime's ability to awaken interests. I can't tell you how many times my thought process after seeing a new 2D girl has gone from, she's not my type, to, she is my child, don't you dare insult her. And I don't know how anime does it. Anime could be like, hey, are you into Little Sisters? Oh, you're not? Actually, you are now. And then you have no choice but to tuck that new fetish away in your mental file cabinet between feet and middle-aged alcoholics.
My guy.
Even if it's not your thing, anime has a way of seducing you into at least understanding its appeal. Now, I want to credit the creators. I want to envision their sleepless nights as they rip out page after page from their typewriters, struggling to find the next moe trend. But it might be us. It might be that the anime community is so thirsty, our capacity to find literally anything attractive is inexhaustible. Regardless of whichever may be true, whether it be creators or us, the fact that every character has the potential to be found attractive, not in spite of, but because of their flaws or peculiarities, is something I honestly find inspiring. We have this intrinsic desire to find beauty in everything, no matter how messed up, minuscule, or contradictory. Tall, short, skinny, fat, clumsy, standoffish, flat-chested, perverted, airheaded. Anything can be glorified, adored, or idolized. Just look at how many tags a single doujin can encompass. I like drunk anime girls because they're a reminder of our willingness to perceive each other's imperfections as charming personality traits.
So, Kyle, I have a question. So you said alcoholic, females with alcoholism.
Sure.
What? You don't just mean like a girl getting drunk. You mean like legitimately like alcoholic, or are they kind of the same? But you just kind of mean like a girl getting drunk, like really drunk.
I like alcohol enthusiasts.
So you probably like that one
Okay,
line anime.
It's
that came
it's
out.
and this is obviously within the realm of fiction entirely. This does not pertain to the 3D.
Okay.
It's an
The
archetype.
3D.
There
Can
is
you explain though? Because like I can't think of any. Like I can give you examples of girls getting drunk in anime, but I'm not like, okay, that girl's an alcohol enthusiast. I cannot give you a single. And I know you gave some examples.
I'm
of that,
thinking
but-
Tatami
I give you
Galaxy.
plenty of
that girl.
examples, Justin.
Yes, the
The,
one who
the
was
girl in Tatami Galaxy. That was my first thought. So
Sure, yeah.
there's three, I guess, like main love interests in Tatami Galaxy, but one of
Yes,
them is
the dentist.
yeah, right, and she's a little bit of an alcoholic. That's what I thought of when you mentioned this.
sure.
The other
yeah.
thing I thought of was the journalist from Persona 5.
Yes,
Which
that's another. That's
technically
another
now
good
it's
example.
now it's an
Ohio.
anime,
You
so we can
have
talk about it all the
Free
time.
reign. You can talk about as much
go
Persona
for it.
as you want. But yeah,
So Justin.
if you don't know those three main examples that I gave, there's Hunter named a few. I'm not quite sure of others just off the top of my
There's
head.
Naruto.
We watched Night is Short Walk On Girl. That girl who would just drink all those beers. Remember, you were there for that? Remember?
I did not come.
I'm sure you were there. Night is Short Walk On Girl. It looked like Tatami Galaxy.
Oh yes.
The girl who just drinks all night.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
But
Don't the girls in One Piece drink a lot too?
yeah,
Yeah, they all
Nami
do.
drinks.
I'm pretty sure they all do that, but Nami like shows it the most because chest out. Just
Her
Hey,
waist
guys.
is like 4 inches. It's crazy.
So
So one thing I will add, or almost kind of disagree with you on, is that I think the bigger reason that all of these things can be found attractive is because all of the characters are drawn attractively. Like, because of how they look, the personality doesn't really matter as much, at least to what I would consider most people that would watch it, right? So because the girls are cute, it doesn't matter that she like actually kills people. Like, oh, but she's so cute when she does it, right?
right, I get that. And I explained. There are monster girls which are not inherently attractive. There's that girl from Atamote.
But all the right parts of them aren't monstery.
wait, when you talk
Sure.
about the monster girl, is that the one where he's taking care of them?
There's lots of monster
yeah, I was
girls.
gonna say like there's a lot of monster girls.
Yeah, there's a lot. But no, I think, in like within my argument, that's the weakest, that there are some unattractive anime girls, because that's hard to argue. There are very few unattractive anime girls. It's mostly in terms of their personality. Like, alcoholism is not an attractive quality. So,
But so you say that you like the flaws that make people human, essentially, in
Basically.
anime, and that's what you're not even talking about alcoholism generally. You're just talking about any kind of.
no, that's just a window to...
There's actually something kind of interesting about that. There's a ideology in Japanese culture called Wabi-Sabi, which is basically beauty and imperfection.
Of course, yeah.
So, I mean, they use examples like a cup that's not perfectly circular or something, but the same thing applies, right? You have imperfections because somebody being too perfect isn't very attractive.
Right, or there's a practice of like finding beauty in like cracked dishes, and they intentionally seal the cracked dish back together with gold lining.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
So does wabi-sabi,
Wabi-Sabi.
Wabi-sabi.
wabi-sabi, does that refer to people or objects?
I think it's just it's
in
kind of
general.
overarching.
Okay,
It,
so
it
it's kind
doesn't
of
have to be
philosophy
everything.
almost, or...
Yeah, I mean, it's basically beauty and imperfection. If I
Yes.
said that to you, would you say that that's only about people, or is it about things, or is it just kind of a thought?
You could use it to describe anything, I suppose.
Right. That's how I interpret it. I might be wrong about it, but
Interesting.
I say that you could use it to describe anything.
All right, who's next? Let's wrap it up. Let's go.
I'll go. Okay, so my topic this week is shower scenes
What
in
the-
anime. I love shower scenes.
What?
Yeah.
What's happened to him?
Okay, can you even name? So name.
No,
three.
no, let him.
I will name three.
No, let
Okay.
him go.
I will name 3. Okay. So the reason why I like shower scenes in anime, and it's very fitting to the picture that is shown right now,
Which is High School of the Dead Girls.
because this is one of my examples.
Okay.
Because this is the most infamous shower scene of them all.
Is it?
Is it?
No
No
Code
way.
Geass?
No, this is the most infamous.
Let's let Justin talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guy.
Okay. So the reason why I like shower scenes in anime, for a few reasons. One of them, it is a release of sexual tension. You know, especially in an ecchi like High School of the Dead. You know, when you have this shower scene, the entire series, you're getting panty shots, you're getting upskirt shots, you're getting these busty, bouncy boobs, you know, ridiculousness. And then all of a sudden it's building, driving not only the characters of the show wild, but like, you know, some of the people that are watching it as well. Some of us men.
Some
The teacher. Oh, okay. High school. You're still in high school.
High School of the Dead.
Okay.
The teacher with the huge boobs. And
Yeah,
she's like,
got
you
it.
have big boobs. And she's like,
Yeah,
I
sure.
know. And then she gets mad, and then she starts grabbing her boobs. And like,
Did you watch this like yesterday to like refresh your memory?
I had to rewatch shower scenes to get it in my head.
Oh,
Yes.
To get in your
Research,
head.
of
Which
course.
head?
It was educational research, guys. Nothing more.
Okay.
Nothing more.
You didn't. You
Above
didn't
the
tell me.
earthly pleasures.
So yeah, no. Yes.
No, not at all. Actually, yes, entirely.
So there is that aspect of it, right? There's the sexual release, you know, because side boobs and the butts, and you know, depending on the anime, varying degrees of actual nudity, right? And then there is the kind of the hilarity that comes with it of building more sexual tension, like in Gurren Lagann when they're in the hot springs and Kamina and Simone are sitting over there and they can hear in the distance them talking about big bouncy breasts and it's just so hilarious because they're losing their mind. And then like for the next 5 minutes they're freaking trying to see them and it's just it's so funny. Not to mention in that scene, I had to take a few pictures.
Screenshots.
Yes. Kamina is standing up there, and there's this like thing that looks like a ball sack hanging there, and I'm like, well, I'll pass it around.
Are you sure it's not the mole?
It is the mole, and that's what's so ridiculous about it. It's like, oh, I guess they just thought he had huge balls. 'cause
No,
he's
no,
like,
no.
But it's the
No,
mole.
but Kamina probably has big balls.
It's censorship.
But it was hilarious because in that moment, in out of context, I just see these freaking things with a little hair that look like balls, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's like in Evangelion when like Shinji bursts out of the bathroom after saying pen pen, and like the thing on the table in the foreground is like a can of toothpicks right in front of his junk. You know?
And then Simone has like he's sitting in the gunman naked and he's got a freaking drill.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But the kind of related to yours, the teacher in high school that dead gets drunk, and she's like, like naked basically with a towel, and she's like all over the guys, and they're like bleeding out their nose and freaking out, and it's really really funny. She's like grabbing for their junk and all that stuff. So not only is it like sexual tension, building in certain aspects, but it's also releasing. And then same with Steins Gate, when like
I would say Steins Gate's a little bit more,
PG.
classy about it, but yeah.
no, High School of the Dead is ridiculous. I do want to borrow that movie that you have now, though.
Dude, Drunk Kurizu, it hits both of them.
Yeah, it's it all.
All encompassing.
Justin, you should just watch High School DxD.
I don't know what that is.
We'll talk about it.
Okay,
later.
so I watched the first.
No, I'm gonna get so angry at you. Don't you dare talk about that.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Wow.
Nothing. Moving on.
We'll wait. Well, no, if you want to bring it up, we will.
I will
Do you want
not.
to talk about it?
No.
I think the people want to know.
Bad, Hunter.
I wanna know.
Bad.
I don't want to know.
You were just
Okay.
going to say it, and he got so mad. I have to
No,
know.
but we'll get to it because it's currently airing. We'll talk about it. It's
Oh,
good.
cool.
Well, okay.
Colleen.
So, you like shower scenes.
Yeah.
Release sexual tension. Hilarity ensues.
Yes, and building of sexual tension in regards to Gurren Lagann and even Steins Gate and many, many other examples.
Kevin, you want to go?
Sure. Okay.
You guys
So
didn't say nothing
I
about my shower
really.
scenes.
What?
You didn't say nothing about my shower scenes.
I also like boobs. Moving on.
Opie King approves of your comment.
No one will call you that, Kevin.
Everyone will call me the Opie King.
You know, it's hard to like rank different outlets of fan service, like the shower scene, the onsen scene, the I don't know, the beach episode. Like, where do they rank?
Episode.
Where do they rank?
Always gotta have the beach episode.
Initial D is a
Always.
beach episode. It's
Yeah, it
pretty
does.
great.
They have a
You know,
beach episode.
I personally think that most shower scenes are too short-lived. They're not really fleshed out. There are like
They're fleshed out.
you know, there's the occasional, I can't think of an example, but there's the occasional episode where like the bath or beach or what have you episode will be like prolonged throughout the entirety of that episode, which I can really appreciate, but I'm not in the best mindset to like recall any specifics. So
All right. So my topic of the week is that I really appreciate when animators put in the time to put a running gag or a running theme every couple episodes, and I find out after like the first or second time that it is a gag. Like it's just a running theme that's going to happen every couple episodes. Like for example, in Konosuba, I didn't realize when they always ask Kazuma a question, they always like Kazuma, and he always replies yes.
Kazuma
hi.
des.
Yeah, Kazuma des. I didn't know that. Exactly. I did not know that was a running like joke that he just replies the exact way that I'm. Yes, this is Kazuma-san. I did not know that, and I appreciate that they do this every couple episodes because I never notice it because I'm so engrossed into the story. Like it's just so amazing that I don't realize it. Example like Avatar. Like that was more obvious that my cabbage guy, like every time his stall shows up, you're like, oh, it's happening. It's just his stall's gonna break. I'm waiting for it to break and for him to say his line, my cabbages. And I didn't know about that. Like it was freshman year of high school where I found out that there's a thing called a running joke in like cartoons or just anything. And it was from SpongeBob, and it was on my YouTube recommended. And it was like a compilation of my leg, and I was like, "What? What is this?" I was like, I clicked on, and it was a full 10-minute video showing like every episode that showed my leg, and I didn't know about that. I was like, "Oh my god, I did not know that this was a running joke."
You didn't know that?
No, I never paid attention to it because I was so engrossed in the story. I'm very oblivious.
The story of SpongeBob?
Yes,
the epic tale of SpongeBob.
and
You were emotionally invested.
no, yeah, hey man,
Edge of your seat.
And when I found out that was a running joke, that was when I realized, wow, this is a thing. Like, what else is there? Is there another thing that's a running theme in the anime? Like, it makes me go back to the anime and rewatch it to find how many times it happens, or even other things that happen. Like, maybe a person always flips his hair before he does his Bankai move or something. It's just really interesting that it enhances the story when I rewatch the anime for just those scenes. It just makes me look for more specific details of like, does this happen a lot? Is it more running themes just than, like my cabbages? Like, is there certain things like he holds a cup a certain way every time he holds a cup? It makes me pay attention to those small details that I never would have like bothered because I didn't know about it. Like I would love someone to tell me like, Kevin, if you watch this like entire season, like you could see that this girl always holds her hand behind her shoulder like every time she explains something. And I really enjoy that they put in the small that they put in that time to put in those themes every couple episodes.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think I get it. I think you're kind of mixing two things. 'Cause
Which is
you're mixing,
perfect.
like
Rewatching and running jokes.
Right, sure. And even Konosuba, like the panty stealing was what I thought you were originally going to talk about because I thought that was a bigger running joke in the
Oh,
anime.
okay.
Right,
Was that
like
a running joke?
Well, because
happened
it
at least
happens
2 or
in
3
like the
times.
first or second episode by mistake, and you think, "Oh, haha, right," and then it keeps happening. Like it probably happens 4 or 5 times
Well,
within the show, and it always catches me by surprise. You're like, "Oh shit, he has that thing again."
I thought that was just his thing that he just stole
Or
panties. I didn't think that was a running
Aqua's little
joke.
nature's whatever thing that she'll randomly bring out like at the worst time. You remember that? Like at the very beginning of the show, she spends a bunch of like way too many points on this stupid little thing that just like shoots a water spout or something, and
okay.
she uses it like over and over
right,
at the
right,
worst
right.
time.
Wait, would that be considered a running joke? Like,
I would say that's a running joke.
like what is considered a running joke? I thought a running
It's
joke
just something that's
something that-
introduced and brought back without context throughout the series.
Okay.
All right, but what intrigued me more is the aspect of rewatching, and I can actually relate to you a little bit in terms of it. So, like, when it comes to beer, you know, I always choose something new over something I already know I like. I have more fun expanding my taste than simply catering to it. Even if I end up with an awful drink, I've gained the experience and insight to justify why I like what I like while heightening my appreciation for what I like in the process. Which is why I don't tend to rewatch anime myself, you know, at least on my own. I've rewatched a ton of anime, but almost exclusively with people because my purpose in rewatching anime is to share it with my friends. Like, this method of rewatching has made me realize... Shut up. This method of rewatching has made me realize that I watch anime with a centralized focus on emotion. As I delve into an anime I've watched before, despite being unable to recall the details of its narrative, I'm reminded of its incredibly nuanced collection of feeling. The happiness I experienced from watching Arakawa Under the Bridge is a happiness unique to that series and can't be replicated. The happiness contained in Nichijou is a happiness unique to that series and can't be replicated. Every anime embodies its own distinct emotion. The melancholic dread of Akunohana, the chaotic insanity of Dead Leaves, the poetic distress of Your Lie in April. These are emotions encapsulated in art. No two forms of emotion are the same, yet I get to experience the exact same happiness, shock, or sadness when I rewatch a series, to the point where I can almost remember what I was doing that day. Similar to how some people are able to evoke memory through song. I rewatch anime not for overlooked details or missed jokes, but to revisit particular emotional states. And I think you may overlook details because I know you also get so absorbed in the emotion of a story. I think that's what you're getting at. You know, we can overlook the most simple details, such as running jokes, because we are sort of vicariously living, these characters' emotions.
Cal, you're the best.
That's what I'm here for. I fight for my friends.
Thanks, Cal.
You have to do it in the Naruto voice.
I fight for my friends.
You can't.
It's not Naruto. It's just
You gotta
generic
use a different
shonen
tone.
Generic
protagonist.
shonen guy.
You have to use a different tone, man.
Yeah.
There's a very specific tone. It's got to be a very young, boorish voice. that
Boorish?
sings- Boyish.
Boyish.
Yeah.
Is Kyle not boyish enough for you?
No, that was
I'm
a
too
more
manly.
manly voice.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got that manly.
Too manly.
Hunter,
Wow.
you're up.
So I had talked with Kyle about this previously, but I, for whatever reason, was unable to think of something, and I didn't want to kind of come in half cocked and just not really have a topic that was really fully expounded upon. So I just kind of came to hang out and listen to what other people had to say and try to bounce off them. I don't really have anything to say.
Cool. Well,
Cool.
Sick.
that's perfectly fine.
Way
I
to
think
drop the ball, Hunter.
Wow,
You
Hunter,
had one job.
one job. You had 1 month.
Yeah, Hunter, I tried.
Let's all roast Hunter for his time.
No, we can roast him. I'm down.
Move.
Your boy has.
Do you have like a career or something?
Do
Like
you
a
even
girlfriend?
work
Yeah.
or a fiance?
Yeah.
And like a house and responsibilities? Like you don't just watch anime all day?
And you call yourself a fan?
You're
is
not
this
a
a roast?
weeb.
Yeah. Oh,
Fight for my friends, isn't it? It's in the chat.
I think we need a fight for my friends.
Emoji?
Yes.
sure. We'll work on
Him
that.
with a fist.
Before we move on to questions, I wanted to quickly throw out a suggestion. In addition to answering listener questions, I thought it might be fun to read what you, our listeners, love about anime. So if anyone would like to submit their own topic, preferably around 1 or 2 sentences describing something about anime that makes you happy, we could share it on the podcast.
And Kyle will read it in his movie voice.
In my movie voice?
Yeah.
I don't have a movie voice.
Do you in your like
In my
hotline voice?
Slayer.
Nami, Nami, Nami.
I thought that was Misty from Pokemon.
No.
I hate you, Justin,
Once
so
again,
much right now.
no,
Like,
I'm
why are you on this
cutting this.
podcast? Why are you on this
Visual
podcast right now?
Visual jokes don't work. This
Oh
is not
my
going
god. I'm so hurt right now. You gonna tell me that's Misty?
So. What do you guys think of that? About having listeners submit their own topics and saying just little things they love about anime?
Yeah, sure.
I
That's
appreciate
dope.
it. No, if you're willing to put in the topic, I'm down for it. I would talk about it all day.
I think it would be cool to get a two-way conversation going between people that listen and us, and that way maybe we could learn more about different series, different aspects that we haven't thought about.
We get questions all the time, but we don't really get your input on what we say. So we want to hear what you have to say. So, all right. So, moving on to the question. This episode's question comes from Shane. He asks, does your family know you watch anime? If so, what do they think about it?
They think I'm a disgusting pig.
Is that
Really?
true?
Really?
No, but when they hear like loud Japanese music coming from my room, like they just know.
Trico?
Wait, Justin.
Trico. Oh, Trico. No. That's not super weeby. I mean, it kind of is.
Are we talking about just music or like the moaning sounds? Because they make a very they make erotic sounds. Okay, tell them to make erotic sounds when they get hurt. I'm like,
Kevin's just
okay.
watching hentai.
Yeah, he's really loud. Like,
First, like,
blasting.
shut up. Turn that down.
Listen to my hentai right now. Leave me alone. No, a lot of animes like they make a lot of like sounds when they get hurt, and it's somewhat to like someone that doesn't watch anime.
I get
the
that.
moaning.
I get
like,
that.
They're sexually moaning. So like that or just music.
well, just think of like themes. I mean, like they're just kind of theme
Oh, the
music.
theme songs?
Yeah, the theme songs are always really like sometimes are really out there, and I play it really loud. Really
Like
loud.
Bleach number
So-
1.
So they know, your family knows.
They do, and I think they think it just adds to the weirdness that is me.
So you
Sure,
don't talk
okay.
about it. Like, you straight up just don't.
no, I do talk about it.
Okay.
I have no issue.
Was your family?
Like, did you bring up Kill la Kill to your family? Is that something you said once?
Think so. I mean,
Kevin's or Justin's eyes just got really wide. Like, oh gosh, did I do that?
Like, I thought you were like explaining the plot to like your family of like how weird it was, but I could be misremembering.
I don't think so.
Okay, sorry.
that would just be a really weird dinner table
Yeah,
conversation.
but that's like how I envisioned what you told.
right,
Never
Justin, what
mind,
do you
it's
remember?
not important.
she takes off her clothes
just like-
and she gets really strong.
As you're cutting your steak, you're like,
Yeah.
so I watched this really cool show. Oh. And anyway, the plot.
Oh shit! I actually did. I did do that.
You ruined your relationship.
That's what I thought. That's
I
what I
did.
thought you said.
Yeah, I remember telling her, I was like, "Yeah, I'm watching this anime, and the girl takes off her clothes, and she gets stronger. It's really good, actually."
It's really good, actually.
I know what you're thinking. I thought it too, but watch this.
No, her name's Ryuko, and this is her sailor outfit. And it transforms.
Hunter, how about you? What about your family?
So, I'll actually start with the story. So, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, Jeremy and you went to Anime Expo. And while there, Jeremy bought me a figurine. So, at my favorite time, still now, my favorite anime was Steins, and he got me a Makise Kurizu like figurine, right? Just a little 6-inch statue of Makise. So, when I put that up, my dad saw it and he had this reaction like, what the fuck is that thing? Why is it in your room? I was like, it's from an anime. It's like, what, like those Chinese cartoons?
Classic
Right?
dad.
So my dad was definitely not a fan of it, but I think he's kind of come around. Like, I'm watching Initial D, really loud in my room, and he'll be like, "Are you watching, Japanese cartoons again?" Like, yeah, Dad. Just watching my
This
thing.
one's Cars.
This one's about drifting. Look, it's better. I promise, it's getting better.
And the second he opens the door, for some reason, someone's naked.
Right.
It's the beach.
No,
scene.
I actually had that problem watching stuff like Game of Thrones. It'd be like,
Yeah.
oh man, Dad, I swear there were like dragons and shit like 5 minutes ago, and now all this sex. Oh my god, I was gonna fast forward. I don't.
I don't
How
watch
did
this.
this get here?
But because of my dad's reaction, the initial one to it, I still don't like really watch, like when I lived in my house, or at my dad's house, I didn't watch anime on my TV. I would always watch it, and if I'm still watching something like Darling in the Franxx, I would watch with headphones on.
Sure.
Like now I can watch Initial D and be like, all right, that's fine. But if I'm gonna watch, Darling in the Franxx, that's a headphone style of anime.
Yeah. Kevin, your family?
My family's Asian, so we don't give a fuck what we watch. Like, I literally watch hentai on my TV and they don't give a fuck. Straight up.
Or like in your family room.
No, in my room.
Okay.
No, like,
Your dad's like, I've seen this one.
He's like, this is a good one. It's
no,
a
I would
family
be
event.
surprised. No, I feel
Got
like
bad
Asian,
taste. Next one.
Kevin, this is what you need to watch. This 1961 of World War II. Oh, man, she's getting it.
What?
What? 1960 in World War II?
That was the wrong year.
It was wrong on
I'm
so
just
many
saying.
levels.
But no, my parents don't really care what I watch because they watch a lot of Asian foreign videos of movies and whatnot.
But are
And my
they having
sister watched
sex?
anime. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, like literally, I think Asian people don't care about that. Like that barrier is broken down. It's just the only thing they care about is drugs. Like seeing hentai and all that, they don't really care. They think I'm just watching stuff. Like it's not gonna affect me. Like I'm not gonna become like a sexual deviant. I'm gonna go in the park and wear like a coat.
Too late.
Too late.
Too
Too
late.
late.
Justin, you got in the coat and just be naked?
No,
You're
what?
the
We're
Opie.
talking about you.
You're the self-proclaimed Opie king. You want us
I
to
am
call
the-
you that.
I am
You
the
wear a
Opie
hat that says
king.
Opie,
Yeah.
and you claim to be the hentai master.
I am. Like you ask me any hentai, I'd be like, not my style, but I know what hentai you're talking
And
about.
you're saying you're not a sexual deviant?
Nah. Whoa, you put me in a category now, in a level?
All right.
Trying to categorize
Yeah, you trying to categorize me? Man, I need to make my own hentai
Break
group.
out the box.
Okay, so my family knows I watch anime. I had to, like, obviously I'm sitting in my room with
You have a lot of
Studio
anime
Ghibli
posters.
posters and stuff like that. But, back in the day, I had to reluctantly tell my mom because I discovered there were anime movies in theaters and I wanted to go see them and I had no means of driving. So she was one of the first people to know. But it was just very, it's a cartoon, just very simple, whatever.
It's an animated feature film.
Right, but
Also Akira,
as my
featuring voice
interests
actor.
sort of increased, her like skepticism also increased, and there were the occasional awkward conversations of like years would pass and it'd be my birthday, and I'm sure my mom had Googled like anime figures, and I'm sure like not the most appropriate stuff came up, and she's like,
Super Sana what?
is this appropriate?
Black
So
Bible?
like I'm.
Is this what you want?
We've had those.
Do you need to go to church more?
Right. We've had those
Seen
situations.
so much in your room.
My sister, on the other hand, I actually came to her in high school. I think my sophomore or junior year. I can't even remember to this day what came over me of like wanting to tell her, but I was like, it was very hard for me, and it was almost like I'm sure my sister perceived it as like me coming out of the closet in a way, of like I watch anime, and like there's a comic on the internet which revolves around like there's a panel that says like, hey, I watch anime, and the person's like, oh cool, and it's like, no, I really watch anime, and they're like, oh no. And that's what happened with my sister, because like she had that reaction of like, oh cool, but then I like opened my cabinet full of like over 100 anime DVDs, and she's like, how do you have all of this?
I don't know
So-
who you are.
I actually watched a ton of stuff with my sister during our high school years. We watched Death Notes, we watched Your Lie in April, we watched Evangelion, we watched a ton of stuff together. And she really enjoys it. She's very open-minded. She likes it. But now that she's married and has 2 kids, she doesn't really watch it anymore. But I actually talk to her a lot about things I'm watching and all that stuff. I have 2 other family members, my dad and an older brother, and I don't think I've ever like outwardly told them I watch anime, but they obviously know. It's just there's like this mutual like ignorance. Like I will refrain from making you uncomfortable from talking about anime, and you will refrain from making me uncomfortable by trying to talk to me about anime. So there's this, overall, my day-to-day, it's just something that's not spoken about.
That sounds
That's a
kind of
little
unhealthy.
sad.
Yeah.
It sounds
that's
sad,
really unhealthy
but,
to
like,
me, at least.
I have an anime podcast. I talk about it as much as I want, just not to my family.
Mm-hmm.
So
Before I forget, I did have a quick story. I don't know what you said that reminded me of it, but
go for it.
So yesterday to work, I have a Spirited Away shirt. It just has a picture of No Face on it, right? And I guess this is the first time I've worn this to work because I had a couple of my coworkers like, I know that's my kids watched that cartoon and they liked it. Like, oh, okay, like, whatever.
Cool.
And then my boss asked me about it. He's like, oh, that's that, you know, it's one of those cartoons. I took my kids to watch it, and it was, you know, I watched it and it was okay. I was like, yeah, it's a Miyazaki film. You know, it's really popular. It's maybe like the second or third, you know, highest grossing animated film in Japan or whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. I think I've seen other ones. You know, I watched this one with my kids, and I really didn't like it. I think it was called a Ponyo. And I was like, oh god, Kyle would hate you.
Have you seen The Little Mermaid? Didn't like that one? Okay, cool, fine. See you later.
But he was like, yeah, not a fan of Ponyo. He's like, I mean, he must be like 50, but just hearing it from him, I was like, oh, okay.
To be fair, I did fall asleep to Ponyo every time.
But that's almost complimenting it. It's that relaxing. It's not like boring.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think you fell asleep because it was boring. Did you?
I don't know. I fell asleep at your house, then I fell asleep watching it with a girl. Like, legit. Both times. I liked it.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah, when you went to
Kyle's
sleep.
silence tells you
Yeah.
more than anything he says.
I know. He's
Yeah, when he
judging
doesn't say
me.
any words, he's
Guys, this is my last time at the podcast. I will not be
Say
invited
goodbye to
back.
Hunter.
What?
I mean, Justin. Yeah.
the guy that didn't come up with the top.
Yo.
Yeah, you're out of here. No topic, no more podcasts.
One
Yeah,
little
look at
thing
that
that I wanted to
crap.
say is
Yeah.
the way you were talking about it and the way that, like, you know, everyone talks about it. It's like, why is it such a bad thing to watch anime? Like, I talked to this one girl, like a longtime family friend, and she was like, I'm like, yeah, I did a podcast and I'm watching this anime. And she's like, well, everyone has something they're into. I'm like,
What the hell?
yeah, I'm like, it's
So I think it's because people instantly think, oh, anime, you mean all those like naked 2D girls.
Right.
the naked cat girl maids.
Right. They think of this really specific thing, not like, you know,
Right.
You could be talking about Initial D or Haikyuu, and she'd be like, anime.
Why does it have such a strong sexual association? you know?
talked
It's about volleyball? What are you talking right?
We've talked about this before. One of my like reasons for wanting to start a podcast was to do the episode like the stigmas of anime. You know, I wanted to get that off my chest, and we've talked about that before. Like that's a big topic, and I wouldn't even mind like revisiting it sometime and just recovering what we've already told on why there is a stigma towards anime, why people dislike it,
Or
and-
how it's changed in the past. I mean, it's been almost a year and a half.
That's
since
true.
that.
That's true.
Changed a lot. Like,
Yeah, Nicki Minaj. Look at her.
what?
She loves anime. Anyways,
What?
Chun Li.
Was that
you're
song?
just saying words.
It's not in.
No, she made a song about
Street
Chun Li.
Fighter.
Yeah, that's still anime
That's
though.
no, it's not.
Street
That's
Fighter?
Street Fighter
No, no,
is
no,
an
no,
anime
no,
fighter
no.
for me.
We're not getting into
Is
this.
Avatar
Nope.
an anime?
Just drop it. No. We're
Avatar's
not
not
getting
an
into.
anime.
No, we're not getting
Oh
into
wait, which
that.
Avatar?
What is an anime?
We're not getting into that tonight. We need to move on to what we're watching. So,
Kyle wants to edit the podcast easily.
yes, I don't. I already said I took off work today to edit my first impressions video, and I'm sick of hearing my own voice. So, what has everyone been watching? Whoa, Justin.
Justin, do you
He
have
just
something
jumped
to talk
up.
about?
What's
Yeah.
up? Yeah, go for it.
Bible.
Okay, so I am watching Golden Kami.
Oh,
Golden
cool.
Kamuy?
Kamui, yeah.
How do you feel about the bear?
Oh, jeez.
I knew that was coming. So initially I fucking hated the bear because it was so like weird because you see the fucking baby bear that is just normal and then all of a sudden you see the CG bear and I was like, what the fuck? I had to rewind and be like, why? But then when the other big bear came, I was like, okay, that bear looks really scary. Like I understand why they did it because like it's so like yeah, but I think it's trash, but it's okay.
Okay,
Wait,
the
Justin,
bear.
but not because of the
whoa,
bear.
whoa, whoa, stop. The bear or the anime?
No, the anime is fucking awesome.
Okay.
I don't think the bear is trash. I just think it was kind of like a weird stylistic choice to go to CG for that.
Right. There was, the director responded to it. He said, blah, blah, blah. Bears are hard to draw. Blah, blah, blah. It also conveys this mysterious,
We wanted the bear to have a different
otherworldly-
kind of presence. And
That's garbage. I don't believe that. Bears are hard to draw. They were short on time. It looks awful. It does not look good.
Yeah.
I mentioned in my first impressions, which should be out before the podcast, that Golden Kamuy has potentially the best premise of anything from the season. But the visuals are a huge deterrent. It like the bear didn't look good, and overall the direction wasn't that great.
I thought it was really good. I thought that like it jumped in really well. It set the premise really strongly, and like the character was so badass. The main guy, I forget his name.
He's really cool, yeah.
Yeah, the freaking war scene where he's freaking like he punches that Russian, that thumbs that guy's eyes out.
Yeah.
That was sick. Like that to me, that scene of that like pre-World War I-esque fighting was reminiscent of like Brotherhood when they were doing the war and shit like that.
I loved when he was talking to his best friend and he's like, take care of my wife, and he looks over and he has no limbs, and he just like is like his best friend is like sinking into hell, and he like wakes up from this dream. Like that was very berserk like.
And I like the girl too. That
She's
little
cool.
girl.
Yeah, like this has so much potential, but
Yeah.
like it doesn't look good. I don't think the anime looks
The
good.
actual animation, I thought the animation looked great.
I don't.
Kyle, that's something you gotta give out, man.
What?
That's how One Punch was. The
What?
animation
Shut
was-
up. No, from episode 1 it was great.
No, I'm saying like we're talking about like before animation, because like this drawing for One Punch Man was terrible, but
Sure,
the
sure,
story
sure.
that was like there though
Right, but like it didn't take off until it got the drawing.
from the fans.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, One Punch on the screen. But
yeah.
And then I'm gonna watch.
What a chance!
My last thing, I'm gonna watch. I downloaded the Rurouni Kenshin. I finished Rurouni Kenshin.
you finished?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
How'd you like it?
Okay.
I finished everything I care to watch.
Whoa!
Because I'm not
you
gonna
watched
watch
all of
season.
it, right?
I'm not gonna watch season 3 because nothing happens. It's just a bunch of filler and like
I don't
there's just
give
no
a fuck.
point.
You had to watch all.
I haven't seen it, so I trust your
I'm
research.
gonna watch
Kyle,
the
you
movie.
disgust me
That's
that
what I'm
you
gonna
don't
watch. But
watch
anyways.
Rurouni Kenshin. As an
I'm a
anime-
grown man who has
You're
seen
an
so
anime
much damn
connoisseur.
anime.
You're telling me not
I
to
don't need to
watch-
justify myself.
You have to watch it. Is one of those things.
It's really good.
I'm sure it is. I'm a
But that's
busy
just
person.
like, it's one of those. You have to watch it.
No, it doesn't.
Kevin,
have
do you
to.
want me to tell you
Rurouni
how
Kenshin
many...
is one you have to watch. I don't
Kevin.
give a f who you are.
Kevin, do you want me to tell you,
You can
how
swear
many
on the
anime
anime.
you haven't seen that are must-watch anime?
Like what? Besides
Evangelion.
I watched that.
I don't believe you.
I watched a movie.
That does not count.
Okay,
watched 3.
one more besides Boku no Hero Academia and that one.
Have you seen the original Ghost in the Shell?
Yes.
Not the movie, but the full series.
Okay, I watched the movie. But what?
All right.
What do you want me to do?
The live roast of Kevin.
You want to roast
Let's
me?
go, guys.
You can't roast the Opie King.
There you
Like
go.
roasted
Kevin just
yourself
roasted-
by saying that.
Let's just
You played
run down a
yourself.
list of classics, but we're not going to go there.
Okay, so one thing that I think is going to be really good, I feel bad that I haven't been able to watch the most recent episode yet of Megalobox, which sucks because apparently it was really good.
It was good.
But I really like the opening of how they've, to me, it felt very Cowboy Bebop-y.
Sure.
Yeah, you agree, Kevin?
Hell yeah.
Go for it. Talk about it.
So, I mean, one thing I like is just I guess I like the trope of some character that's like relatively unknown but better than everybody else at like everything. You know, that's kind of a trope that's widely used, but you know, I think it
The
I think-
underdog.
Yeah, the underdog story, especially since his name is Junk Dog, right?
Yep.
And he fights with like crappy gear, and then it's actually the first time I've seen a character that actually goes through with the whole like throwing games thing.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like right when I heard that he was supposed to throw the match, I was like, no ways, he's just gonna beat the shit out of this guy, and he actually like does it. And I thought that it actually characterizes them as this sad existence because it's like he doesn't have citizenship. What the hell are you gonna do? Like this is the only way you can make money is under the table, and I'm the only one that's gonna pay you, and I'm only gonna pay you if you throw this game or throw this match, right?
Right.
So I think it's been set up really well. I think it's a very interesting world, interesting characters, and interesting story, and I'm excited to watch more of it.
Yeah, episode 2 was really cool. And the thing is, and like I said, I talked about this in my first impressions video, is like this is a celebration of Ashita no Joe's 50th anniversary. Ashita no Joe is this anime from the 70s
Is that How'd You Name
No,
No,
different.
it's not.
But like that's one of my favorite anime of all time, and I did not know how much of a like reinterpretation that Megalobox would be. Like the character designs are literal recreations of people from Ashita no Joe, and because I keep myself ignorant of things before they come out, like that was the biggest shock to me, that like how much of it was Ashita no Joe but revamped and restylized, and like that was like mind-blowing. That was so crazy. So even though you're not experiencing that level
I love it just watching it alone, not
and
knowing
that's
anything
perfectly
about
fine.
it. And that, I mean, I think that speaks to the power of the actual characters.
Sure.
They're not just hanging off of this,
Exactly.
whatever they're the 70s show.
Right.
They're just actually, making it accessible to people that have no idea, that they've never seen the
So
previous.
I actually really love, this conversation of one person who has witnessed the original and someone who's coming into it new, and we're both loving it, presumably on equal terms. Like,
Right.
it can be loved for so many different reasons and so many different perspectives. So, check it out for sure.
Megalobox gives me the feeling of like it reminds me of Hajime no Ippo, but Cowboy Bebop, like art style. Like
Yeah.
that's what it gives me. Like, and I love that. Hajime no Ippo was great.
Well, it's also
Now it's
just
getting-
the environment, right? It's got that kind of like,
Twangy, like
yeah,
Western almost.
a little bit Western, but it's like ultra futuristic, but you also still have this, I don't know, it's like not cyberpunk, but like,
Hold on, I know what you feel.
I
know
don't
what you're
know how
talking
to-
about.
how
I
to
know. There's
explain
no
it.
words to explain. I'm like, well, okay, that's
It's
me.
like
Cowboy Bebop.
It's like a depraved future almost.
Right. So almost, I was gonna say almost Fallout-esque, but not that apocalyptic.
No, I get what you're saying for sure.
Everything's a little bit run down. You still have
And
a
you
little
know-
bit of.
What's actually really interesting is that, from what I understand, it's intentionally not coded correctly, in the sense that the resolution of the video is actually lower than it should be. And that's like an intentional choice. So it looks fuzzier, like more like it's not crisp as everything else that's airing. And that's like an intentional choice from the producers of it, which is just
I respect that a lot.
super interesting. Anything else? You've seen Persona.
So yeah, I did watch the first episode of the Persona 5 animation, which if you don't want to play the game, you can just watch the show, right? Right,
Wait,
Justin?
Way to
How do
put
you
me on
feel-
blast.
How do you feel about it? Because I heard a lot of things that it was very rushed. Like, there's a lot of things that
So
The
I
build-up
think
was
there's
rushed.
no way that it cannot feel rushed. If I spent personally 80 hours playing this game.
Wow.
They have 23 episodes. That's like what, 8-ish hours. There's just no way stuff is gonna have to get cut out. And I think that what they want to do is that they don't expect that everybody watching this animation are people that played the game. So they kind of want to get to the meat of the story. They want to get to what makes Persona interesting, which in their opinion is the personas. So they wanted to rush toward the first awakening in the first episode. And I completely understand that choice. I don't think if you have not played the game, I think the first episode would be very jarring to you. I think you would have relatively little idea what's going on and what is happening. Like I could, since I played the game and, I actually went through, since I did the New Game Plus, I've went through that twice and I understand all the stuff that happened. So all the breaks were not that big of a deal. It's just like reading a book before watching the movie. You're like, oh, well, this happened in between, but I guess it wasn't that important, whatever.
Right. I think the Persona anime is for the fans. The Persona anime have existed before. I've never watched a Persona anime, but P5 is the first Persona I've played. Therefore, I'm watching the anime, and therefore I appreciate it. I never watched older Persona anime because I never played the game, and they have no interest in me. I think it's perfectly reasonable for like a newcomer to say like, hey, I don't have a PS4. I've always wanted to check out the story. I heard the game got a good score. I'll watch the anime. But like, it's a game adaptation anime. That's all it is. So like, I would categorize this under a guilty pleasure rather than anything else, because it's not like, dude, you gotta go check out the Persona anime. It's revolutionary. It's for the fans. It's for
Right,
fans.
and I feel that because I mean they're blasting you with all of the soundtrack from the game,
Yeah.
which obviously people were really latched onto, myself included, really liked the soundtrack. So they played like 5 or 6 of the songs from the game, and I absolutely believe that they're just going to carry that forward. And it's just being able to see something that I played, get. I'd like to see the interpretation without a player backing it.
Right. In regards to pacing, I think it's going to work out perfectly fine because, yes, we've played 90 hours, but that, like, you
How much of
eliminate...
it was spent in fucking
150
mementos?
hours.
Right. You
grinding, right?
eliminate grinding, you don't have to
Yeah.
account for that. So pacing will be fine. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. And I mean, I'm excited to watch the second episode. I didn't think that the first episode was bad.
Yeah.
You really think so? I thought when they usually make an adaptation, it's just usually it's gonna be worse. Like I'm just like, you're not doing it justice.
I mean, I'd prefer
you should have
the
made this
game
like a
right
2-season,
now,
3-season thing. Like just do it. Like it wouldn't have mattered. Like I feel like you should just expand it to 3 seasons just to tell the story and just slowly build it up. Like I think people will appreciate
It's already too core. It's already 24 episodes at least.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah. It's gonna be okay. But
Plus, I think they want to get to the part where they have more characters, right? How long do you spend alone in that game before you actually start hanging out with people?
Yeah.
The entire cast doesn't even get revealed until like this 5th act of the game. So you kind of have to rush to get some of the characters out.
yeah. So. Anything else? I know you saw Steins Gate and apparently High School DxD season continuation.
Let's start with Steins Gate. Okay.
No.
Why?
Let's start with High School DxD.
Yeah.
Because I know what you did.
What?
Okay.
Oh, Kyle's got the
I'm
secrets.
gonna tell you what you did, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Okay. High School DxD and Steins Gate came out on the same day.
Okay.
Steins Gate came out, and you weren't mentally prepared for it. So you used High School DxD season whatever it is to pad yourself and prepare yourself for Steins Gate because you didn't want to jump into this. You weren't ready. So you used this beautiful perfect series as a means to ease your way in to Steins Gate.
So unfortunately, you are wrong because I did not even know they came out on the same day. I actually thought that DxD Hero had come out previously.
Sure.
So I saw you guys talking in the Discord about somebody posted the trailer for DxD Hero, and I remember the original DxD, and then you guys apparently said that the new one has a different style associated with it, right? Like the characters just look different or
It's a
something.
new studio.
So I watched the trailer and I was like, I dig this style more than I dug the old style. And I've heard good things about it. And I know it's kind of ecchi and fun. And, I liked Prison School. I liked High School of the Dead. Sometimes you like ecchi stuff. I actually had no idea that there was this big story associated with it. I thought it was just episodic. Look at the wacky hijinks.
There's such
we'll
a
get
big
into this
story to
time.
High School
no.
DxD.
So
There's some
apparently
plot.
there's a bunch of
There's
stuff
plot in those
happening.
titties, man.
So I go into this first episode having no clue about any of the story.
So upsetting.
And here's
I'm so pissed.
so we could look in the Discord to prove it, but I believe I had watched Steins Gate 0 first.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I believe
So I'm not going to
go.
go look it up right now, but I thought I did.
Someone
I could
fact
be
check
wrong.
him right now.
But I went into it, watched it. I thought it was going to be episodic. I had no idea what was going on. There was an interesting song.
There was a boob song.
Right.
It was so good.
I'll be honest, that was kind of catchy. the Opie Dragon song was kind of catchy. But at the end of it, I've decided not to go back and watch season 1 and continue on through the story.
You
and figure out
disgust
what's
me,
going
Hunter.
on.
You're just gonna continue to watch it?
No, I decided not to
watch it at all.
I decided I'm not for the DxD life. Maybe one day I will go back to season 1, episode 1, and figure out why he's a dragon and why any of this is happening. but for now, we are gonna drop the DxD train.
Wow, you
All right.
fucked up.
So Steins Gate.
Cool.
Okay, Steins Gate. So also fucked up. So apparently, Steins Gate has the true ending, right, which we see in the original series.
Yeah.
But it ends on episode 24, and in episode 23 there is a part, right?
Deviation.
There are two things. There's an episode 23 normal and episode 23 beta, which is called like disambiguation, right? So it's basically it's the same story, but they end in different ways. It's like, you know, the
bad ending.
Right.
We give it the
What?
fate 0.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, Steins Gate. Okay, Steins Gate.
Yeah. What?
So there is on the 23rd episode there is a
choice you make.
different a different thing that happens in which the ending of Steins Gate does not come to fruition, and he has to continue on and basically live his life knowing that he failed after all of this time.
If I watched the series, did I see that?
Yes. You did not see the disambiguation episode.
Okay.
This is where I'm saying I fucked up because I watched the
was that an
Steins
OVO
Gate
or
0 episode 1 before I watched the disambiguation.
You're not the only person. It was not well communicated to like the American audience. So
Right. Yeah. So if you're going to watch Steins Gate 0, watch that disambiguation episode first, but skip the first 18 minutes because it's the same until the very end.
Okay, so watch that, and then the new one picks up from that.
Steins
Right.
Gate Zero is a what if story if things did not go according to plan. And I don't want to spoil too much, but
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending
don't
of
spoil
Steins
it
Gate
for
for
me.
anybody, but if things turned out in a bad way at the end of Steins Gate, this is what would go on. So it was really amazing seeing all the old characters that I really like come on the screen, and it was really heartbreaking to see what Okabe is going through right now, right? To see him in this mindset of, you know, just failure, depression, and trying to live his life as a normal person, trying to avoid all of the people and all of the areas that caused him so much grief in the actual series.
So my thoughts on Steins Gate Zero are a little bit mixed, because Steins Gate is already this very complete,
perfect.
Like don't touch it, and yes, it's like this is a very profitable,
Like Fate Stay Zero? Or
Sure,
Fate Stay Night?
it's a very profitable franchise. Let's continue it and say, like, this is this alternate story. It's not by the same director. I feel like it's piggybacking on the success of the original and, jumping into the very dark and, like, most depraving moments of the anime, like, from the start. And I feel like it didn't earn it in the same regard that the original did. Like, you had to work your way through Steins Gate to truly appreciate it and truly experience that very deep, distressing middle area of the show. And that's kind of where Steins Gate Zero is picking up on. So
I think it'd be really interesting to hear from somebody that never watched Steins Gate, watches Steins Gate 1 through 23, but on 23 they only watch the
oh my gosh, I
disambiguation
don't want to
episode.
hear that.
Do you
No.
want me to
Then
do it?
Steins Gate 0
I
through
haven't
the
watched
end,
it. You want me to
and
do it?
then episode 24
Hold on,
of
I'll
the
do it
original
for you.
series. I think it'd be really interesting to hear what
Justin,
somebody thinks about that.
All right, Justin, you and me are going to do this experiment. But
No,
already
he's
watched
already
Steins
seen
Gate.
Steins Gate.
okay, well, then I'll do the experiment, and I'll do what you want.
So you're gonna watch Steins Gate episode 1 through 23, or 1 through 22, but
Okay,
on
we're-
23 you're gonna switch to the beta episode.
yeah,
And then you're gonna not watch 24.
Oh, no, I'll watch it after all this experience.
After Steins Gate 0 ends, then you can watch episode 24
All
of the
right,
original series.
we're
No,
ruining
I'll definitely
Kevin.
do that because, like, for me, it's
That'd be
like,
really interesting. I think it'd be an interesting experiment to see what somebody watching that thinks of it.
Kevin, what have you been watching?
I am finally watching some of the news. Oh, well, now old season, but Darling in the Franxx,
It's still airing, yeah.
and I'm watching Killing Bites.
Okay.
Yep. I knew it, Kyle. I knew it.
I mean,
Judge me, bro.
No,
Judge me. Come at me.
I watched it, but it's just
The plot's there.
of all the things to watch, it's not the most recommendable, but how are you liking Killing Bites?
Definitely not a good anime, but I'm there for the plot. No, I'm there for the plot. You know what I'm talking about. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
The quote-unquote plot, yes.
The plot's there. Darling in the Franxx definitely revitalized episode 6. Revitalized that feeling of when I first watched anime.
It's 6?
It was, I think it was 6 or 7, but that basically, no, I don't know how to explain this without going, but it gave me that feeling when I first watched anime, that Bankai moment where I'm like, oh, he's coming back to life. I knew it. That this animation, oh my God, he's gonna become a hero. Everyone's waiting on him. yes, just fucking yes. That's what I'm talking about. That was the feeling I got from episode 6 of Darling in the Franxx. It kind of like retouched some of my old.
What can you give like a 3-second synopsis of what episode 6 is?
Basically he gave it his all, and then he dies, and then he just sees his partner struggling to fight off this monster, and he's like, oh no, she's fighting this fight all alone.
Okay, so when he finds a reason to fight.
He finds a reason to fight, and it
Okay,
gives him
gotcha.
that power to come back from his fucking fucked up mental illness, and it feels great to see the hero be the hero of the story.
That's Killing Bites.
Yeah.
Oh.
I had to look up a picture of Killing Bites, and I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's
Why are you
right.
concerned? What are you looking at?
Hey, Justin, you see the plot? Do you see the plot yet?
Okay,
I see the plot.
Okay, time out. Let's explain what just happened. So, Justin looked up a picture of Killing Bites, and it's Cheetah Girl like under the seduction of the pheromones of whoever on top of Badger Girl. And you know what? That's kind of what I hate. That's why there's a stereotype or a stigma against like people liking anime, because they're like, anime, I'll type in that 5-letter word into Google and like, oh, this is what it is. It's sexy and gross and weird. I don't like it. You're weird. That's what happens. Don't do that. Okay?
He's so mad. He's so mad.
No, I mean, but that's what it stems from.
Hey, Kyle,
Like,
that's what I'm here for.
Killing Bites sucks. It's not good.
Well, then what was wrong with that assessment and me looking at that and being like, what the fuck is happening?
Because people like Kevin go around saying, I'm watching Killing Bites, you should watch it. It
Right,
has
here's the
titties."
thing.
Well,
So-
I didn't say you should watch it.
Kevin would be the type of
when
dude
did
to
I
walk
say-
around openly speaking about how much he loves it and how much everyone should watch it.
I did not say that. I did not say you should watch it. I even told Kyle that it's not a great plot. Like the anime is not great, but plot, wink, wink.
Right.
I even said plot.
Most
wink,
people
wink.
don't understand what the hell that means.
I know, but for me and Kyle,
I know, but
I know. See, that's the thing, though. That's the stigma.
all right. Anything else? So I think Darling in the Franxx, has been pretty lackluster lately, but I think around episode 13, it really introduced some like severe backstory that should have been implemented way earlier on that completely revitalized that series for me. And I'm back into it. Like, I think Darling in the Franxx has
13.
I think around 13, yeah.
Because I already like it. Like the drawing, the animation, the fucking black bars that come out of nowhere. I'm like, okay. I see your animation style. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Like the drawing is great. Everything about it is great. Just keep watching.
Well, that's a little excessive, but
Keep watching it. Oh, Pi King says so. My word's law.
as I've said, my first impressions video is hopefully out before you're listening to this. So my first impressions on the 50 or so anime that I've watched are out there. I'm not going to bother retelling them here.
So I'm a little bit over 50 lifetime.
You're weak.
Really?
Step it up.
Yo, your shit's weak, yo.
Yeah, your power level is just way too low, bro. You need to.
All right. If you have any questions, please send us as many as you would like. You can send them to myself at Secret Otaku on Tumblr, email us at theweeabooze@gmail.com, or just leave a comment wherever you're listening. Join us on Twitch for when we record live on Fridays around the middle of each month, and join us on our Discord so you can talk to us whenever you would like and keep up on opinions on what we're watching. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon or leaving us an iTunes review if you like what we do. And more than anything, please share the podcast because word of mouth is the only way we get new listeners. We want to thank Yudachi for our intro, Kuwagata for our outro, and like always, get
Drunk.
And
Watch.
no.
Yes!
An anime.
I didn't mess up.
I'll see you guys next time.
later.
You can catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Oh in that tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding Wabi-Sabi, blazing hot. That's kamikaze, sacred fire. Don't be mad, I'm lit. Catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Oh in that tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding Wabi-Sabi, blazing hot. That's kamikaze, sacred fire. Don't be mad, I'm lit.